Hello and welcome to this week's live Thursday game. We are reenacting the Battle of Castiglione in northern Italy. And I am with General Davidovich on the Austrian side.
Morning.
So it's 7 a.m. We're doing 30-minute turns. Your wing or division corps has gotten up early and is already formed up and in marching columns ready to march at your word.
Marvelous. So, movement first turn is I put a picture into my chat. Just follow the roads going east and send the cavalry out ahead to scout, and I'll go along the ridge with is it Spielberg,
Spiegel.
Spiegel. Kind of travel along the road that goes and get up onto the ridge past the artillery and just get a good view from there,
Alright,
and
so,
then just see what happens from there. Thanks.
alright. I'm gonna stick with you while I make the moves.
Cool.
Spiegel's got the artillery between his two halves.
Yep.
Let's see.
Just stick with them. And if we run into French, we just deploy wherever we run into them.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you.
James is handling your dispatches, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, for Wormser. I have you, General Wormser. Where do you want to go?
I'll also been in.
Okay, that's easy. Thank you.
All right.
I'm going to delete. Have you been visited yet?
Yeah, somebody came and got my orders.
Oh, what were your orders?
Just take the road north.
Okay. You hadn't been moved, which is why.
Yeah,
asked.
just
Okay.
Oh, I was on the tail end of a discussion on sightline. What did you determine it to be in?
Like mile and a half.
Mile
Unless
and a half, so 10 to 15.
the ridges would block that, and then if they're on a ridge, maybe 2 to 3, depending.
Gotcha. General Davidovich.
It's taking a long time with the others.
Also about 30. It's from who? Children. Oh, 30.
James, right now is the horse artillery on the ridge line. He wanted the artillery here to move up to the ridge itself.
It's not.
Yeah, because like I thought that the ridge like kind of like ended here, but is there any sort of elevation right here they could get up on?
We can put it here and say it's on a elevation of a bit, maybe, or here, somewhere around there.
And I'm guessing that the horse artillery have like a range of like 2 to 3 squares if we're having such close infantry engagements, or maybe even 1 square.
What was the question?
Like their artillery, like how long is the range on those guys? Like
Oh,
one
like
to
out a
2
mile
squares. Okay,
maximum.
it's pretty long range artillery.
All right. Lots of almost engagements, but none yet. Langbart, let Napoleon know that or have Despinoy send him a dispatch saying he's arriving close to Castiglione.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. How much can I give them visually?
All right. 7:30 now. Take your screenshots. And we don't have a dispatch umpire, so everyone has to forward the dispatches for their players.
That was now it's like
What was that?
oh James, what time is it now in the game?
It's now 7:30. All right, I'm gonna go get my updates. All right, General Davidovich. So, your forces step off and start marching down the various roads that you've designated. You yourself move to the ridge line in front of the defenses at Pazzo della Caten. And from that ridgeline, you can see very well French deployments to your west, both north and south of the ridge. You can see the French a brigade is moving along the ridge directly towards Spiegel, and with more deployed north and south of him, as well as French deployed towards the right wing of your army further north.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I was muted. Hello. Do you want orders now?
Unless you need
Okay,
some
so
time.
nah, it's all right. I can do it now. So Spiegel to where he is, exactly where he is now, to kind of deploy there. Back is it Bausch? His artillery behind him to kind of come up onto his right flank, and then deploy in that kind of open green area.
Okay.
And obviously the rest of him to come up behind. The 7th Dragoons send them an order to attack into Victor Perrin's right flank.
Okay.
And then Lipte, where he is, actually to withdraw if he can slightly because of the way he's positioned, and then just deploy in line. Wait for the rest of his brigade to come up and deploy in line. And then Mitrolski to deploy in line on his right flank, kind of behind where the dragoons are in that area. And I will stay here for the time being, and I'll send a dispatch.
Okay.
Oh my god, no, I've done it now. So everything just advance up behind where I am. Where I am is kind of where I'm staying, really, I guess.
Okay. Alright, General Worms, sir. You can see Davidovich's column stepping off, heading west. I think Shobanin's guards have also moved somewhat west while holding line formation. No sounds of battle anywhere yet. And you remain, I guess you're on your horse, you're not anywhere particular. Are you staying here, going somewhere?
I didn't order this before, but the two batteries near Solferino to move on to the entrenched positions on those heights west of Solferino, and I'll stay with Chauvin in here.
Yeah, they're there in that defensive position.
Okay, okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I just wanted to note how nicely the fire emblems fit together right here between Spiegel and
Oh yeah,
LADR.
that's true. It's beautiful. There's like a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll that combat. Oh wait, there's XTX here. Technically, I said he could have the ridge, so I'll let him do that.
Whew.
You can go ahead and
Uh,
roll for that combat on the ridge, XDX.
you might not want to make that one a square, as they were ordered to bayonet charge that incoming column of Austrians, but they now have retreated. So
We'll
not
assault.
sure.
We'll assault column them. Then
Is the infantry up here in range of the artillery
up where?
over here?
Yeah, the ones I gave smoke are. They can.
Okay, if they're in range of the artillery, would you say the artillery would definitely be like close enough for canister shot, so they should get an advantage?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Over here, for Kilmain's orders, he was mentioning he wants to get down to a hill down here. I'm not sure if he just like read the map wrong or if there's a hill in Medol I don't know about.
There is supposedly a hill, which probably there is, but it's super tiny. But there's a fortress and a hill down there, so
Okay.
you can just move them down there. Well, it looks like the Austrians had the better end of that fight.
Can horse artillery keep up with like cavalry if they're not like charging?
Yeah, if cavalry's moving at not too fast a speed.
Oh no, that's not horse artillery. Oh, how do I? So over here, as his infantry, he wanted to take a defensive position in the city here. How do I change like the arrows to the normal infantry, or do I just do replace the infantry from over here?
Sorry, who wanted a defensive position?
Over here, Fiorella, when he
Oh,
reached the city, he
if you
wanted to.
flip it over and hit the L button, it forms line.
Ah, I see. Okay, let's.
Defensive position. That's the wrong thing. That's alright. So, dispatch delays should generally just be one, like the next turn. Except for Fiorella, if you can remember, let's do a 2-turn delay between Fiorella and, like, Napoleon up north. Just because he's so far.
All right, are we ready to take screenshots?
We are. Go for it.
Oh yeah, that guy that just arrived, he's only to remain in the town. He's not supposed to go anywhere.
Chauvelin. Alright, I'm gonna go get my updates. Alright, General.
Oh,
So, Spiegel has deployed. I think Barsh is actually kind of in the low area between the two ridges, but
Yeah, looks like him, doesn't it?
so the French have deployed as well, and you battle in and out of the town. It's a very small town. For supremacy, your artillery has arrived and deployed. The enemy is, you can see Leclerc's brigade moving in on your right flank. But so far, things seem to be going well for you on the ridge. It seems the French are taking heavier casualties than your own men. As you look north, it's getting a bit far in the distance, but you can see 7th Dragoons attack go in. Somewhat successfully, hard to tell. It's a bit of a muddle up there now, but you can hear artillery firing further north beyond really your line of sight. And that's about it.
Okay. Orders will be for Mitrowski to come to extend my line where the 12th reserves or reserve artillery is to come in that direction to attack Leclerc or move up to extend the line opposite Leclerc.
Okay.
The two Spiels could stay where they are. Actually, if they charge in, the reserve Spiel behind is to kind of protect the artillery, so move to protect if they just counter their charge. Dragoons to come to withdraw, so withdraw, I don't know, down towards me. And I want to move up to join the Mitrovsky brigade as they come down behind the 7th Dragoons, or wherever they kind of finish, join them there.
And Mitrowski 2nd Brigade and Lipte just kind of hold where they're at.
Well, the two Mitrovsky brigades to come this way. So to the north, I can't see. So wherever Lipke and I'm trying to think how many we've got. I've lost count. So we've got 4, haven't I? So wherever the other ones to hold where they are. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing anyway. So just defend where they are at the moment.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And then the
Moving.
Grenadiers to around Rodone. Or the cavalry around Rodone, I mean.
Radone. Okay.
More or less maintaining the same position. Or the same formation.
Understood.
Where are you headed to, Wormser? Anywhere?
I'll move to Solferino near the artillery to the heights so I can examine what I can see across battlefield.
Got it. Thank you. Let's see. Kaiser, you have. Who do you have? I forget.
I have Chobanin and Weidenfeld.
Would you mind? Oh no, I guess Wormser's just went to Spottendorf. I was about to say you could take Wormser, but never mind. I'll keep him since he's just switched.
He comes back. I don't mind.
I think I should take Fiorella. Have you been visited yet, J-Rock?
Yes, my orders were taken.
Okay. Making sure.
I would like Pelletier's men, the second regiment behind the first one, to swing around and form up on the right flank of the regiment that's currently engaging Spiegel's infantry. Robert's units, I want them to stay in reserve, and the dragoons as well. Yeah, keep moving that artillery up to the ridgeline of my position. And I guess I will write a dispatch to General Bonaparte right now. It's 8:00, 0800.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey XDX, do you want to give me Fiorella to help?
What?
Do you mind? Can I take Fiorella from you to help speed things
Oh,
up?
I mean, yeah, you can if you want. There's not much to his orders. He just wants to continue forming up to a defensive position.
Yeah, no, I'll take him because I'm finishing early.
All right,
So
no worries.
If you want, you can take one of mine.
Me?
They to give very detailed orders.
I'll take. I don't know which one's worse. That's.
I really don't care. They're nearly the same.
Well, let me
So
take. Let
Leclerc
me
is
here. I'll take
charging the artillery.
Fiorella, and then Kaiser. Why don't you take Messena?
I can take Masena, yeah.
That'll because Kaiser's done way early too.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll do that. All right, you got the normal combat on the ridge, including that charge on the artillery. I already did.
Are these dragoons charging?
It looks like it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, the dragoons are charging the hussars.
Well, they get. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Oh. All right, they're engaged. And is someone moving Despinoy?
Yeah, I can do that one. But he has orders to stay here in town, so I will just move him into town.
Sorry, who was charging the artillery? Oh, the infantry over here was charging the artillery, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So usually what I do for that is I let the artillery get a shot off, and if it's enough to rout them, then they don't conclude their charge. But if it's not enough, then basically they just overrun the artillery at that point.
This is only a 2, so I mean, yeah, I guess the artillery just gets routed. Right. Screenshot time.
Yep,
Would they be captured or only run away?
probably guns captured unless they're. I think Spiegel's in position to countercharge, but
They start retreating the turn after they're broken, right?
yeah.
Or do you want them to start retreating right now?
No,
over
you can
here?
leave them where they're at. Show them getting overrun.
I'm gonna get rid of the smoke though, since they stopped fighting.
Right.
At the end. Oh, since these guys broke, these guys take 1 damage, so these guys break 2, I think. These guys go to 5. Because
Would
these
they
guys
have
break
been
these
able
guys.
to overrun the artillery then if they're... Well, I guess they're not... Yeah.
Well,
They're not shattered.
we could see when would that happen, because they're charging in and then get shot.
Well, we could say that the infantry, okay, they routed the artillery here, but then because they see that their flank is breaking, they route down the
They break on the counter charge.
Plus the countercharge. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that. Then let's get
So it's 8:30.
Okay.
I've got Fiorella now, XDX.
Well, I thought you were going to take
No,
the guy.
Kaiser has
That's okay.
Messena. I'll keep Fiorella. I should be more
Okay.
balanced
So
time-wise.
CIC and Davidovich. Are the who's the CIC of the Austrians again? Is that Worms there?
Worms are you.
Uh, yeah. Okay.
Make sure, Kaiser, make sure your screenshots are always oriented north up.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
is,
I can do that. I've been orienting them based on where their piece is facing.
yeah. It gets
Alright.
disorienting though to keep track of what's north and south.
Okay. Oh, where was I? Oh, that's a fucking.
Alright.
Oh,
So, you move south off or north off the ridge, get a better view of your right wing. As you do, you see the 7th Dragoons are retreating back towards you. Mitrosky's brigade is coming up at your command. The enemy charges into your guns.
Yep.
But Spiegel manages to break the French brigade on the ridge, and as they flee, Leclerc's brigade, or part of it, flees as well when they see Spiegel's countercharge.
Okay.
So the guns are retaken, but momentarily not manned.
we're lost. Okay.
And then you can hear fire further north. Lipte and Mitrowski report the artillery is engaged, and the French artillery is engaged as well. They can see 3 French brigades deployed to their northwest.
Yep.
And they have Weidenfeld deployed on their right wing, linked up with their flank.
Fabulous. Okay. So the ones that have got the French that have got a 7 fatigue, they are. Would that be a 4 fatigue in the normal in the old-fashioned money?
Which
For
one?
that. So the clerk and
A red 7 is
French
routed.
is routed. Oh, okay.
Or
Fair
broken.
enough. They're broken. Right. In that case, so Matowski 1. They're just to. Oh, should I just attack them with the French cavalry? There? No. Okay, so they deploy and then just get into firefight with the clerk. So they deploy in line, and if they need to deploy into square because the French cavalry come in, then do that. The dragoons are routed, aren't they? And my dragoons are routed, so just do them to rest. If the artillery is manned and fireable this turn, then to fire into Leclerc. And then for the rest of Spiel, just to stay where they are for the time being. I don't want to risk of attacking. and I'll. So there, yeah, them to. So let's start again. So Mitofsky to move up and form into line, fire into Leclerc or form square if they need to. Guns to fire, Spiel to stay where they are. And Lippe and the other brigade is just to continue to fire into the French with that battery for the time being for this turn.
Okay, and you're staying where you're at.
I shall. I'll stay where I'm at. Maybe try and get a better viewing position, but other than that, stay where I am.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, General Wormser, you are on your own at the moment. You've moved up to the ridge line west of Solferino, where you've got some fortifications and your guns, 12-pounders. And it affords you a much better view of the battlefield, which you can see Davidovic's left wing's heavily engaged, but seems to maybe be doing well. Spottendorf is not engaged, and you hear lots of artillery fire to the north.
Well, I'll stay here.
Okay. Oops, wrong channel. Alright, General Fiorella, so your division is arriving at Guirizzolo. No sign of any Austrians nearby from scouts or anything. You do hear sounds of battle far to the north, miles away. Artillery fire, mostly, that can carry this far. What are your orders?
I will continue to let the next brigade form up. That way they form a line, 2 brigade line, and hang tight for now.
Okay. You got it.
I'll resolve the combat up here now.
Right.
That makes sense.
Very unlucky turn for the Austrians over in this little theater here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who are these artillery firing at?
I guess Pelletier.
Well, like, are they firing at the artillery or the infantry? You remember?
Infantry. They didn't have specific orders, but
Okay, okay.
those dragoons are chasing them, Kaiser. Oh, Kaiser's not here.
You want me to handle that combat?
No, it's alright. I think he'll come back. Nine o'clock.
Probably should have put the lumber sign to begin with, but
Is it too late to recall those dragoons? He didn't want them to do that.
I know he didn't want them. They decided to chase the hussars on their own.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, I believe I'm done. Otherwise,
Okay, 900. 3 shots.
900.
and I need to.
Oops, wrong one.
Wait. Wow, that was very, very fun. Okay, so voice to.
Okay, let's get.
General Fiorella, your division is almost completely arrived and deployed. You continue to hear the sounds of battle far to the northwest. All pickets and scouting reports report no Austrian activity nearby.
All right, I will have the tail end of the division take up to proceed north in the direction of Cariana. So I'll have one brigade, then the artillery, and the rest to follow behind.
Ariana. Got it. Alright, General Wormser. Let's see. So you can see the battle has continued. Spottendorf's operating to your south. Davidovich's division's heavily engaged to your west, northwest. It looks like both sides have brigades and demi-brigades breaking and reforming. What are your orders? Are you staying here?
Yes, I'm staying here.
Thank you.
Ooh,
you're
row
together.
something moving. Oh, yeah.
Alright, General Davidovich. So,
Yeah.
you watch as first you receive a dispatch from Spiegel that he's managed to rout Pelletier's brigade.
Yep.
But then the artillery fire proves, or I guess it's half his brigade, but proves too much, and it's starting to break there on the ridge and flee to the east. The Spiegel near you is holding, along with Matrowski, against Leclerc's brigade, and it is doing a fine job sending those frogs packing. Matrowski was charged by some hussars, but managed to form square in time, and so that charge was broken, and they have fled. And Lipte and Matrowski to the north, his second brigade, reports that they are not engaged yet and still just trading artillery fire.
Do we have a couple of minutes just to have a chat?
Yeah, I'll come back.
Thank you. what I'm thinking here is Matrowski and Spill, I leave with you under your command. And I'll go north up to Lippe because I have no idea what's going on up there.
With
And as you're
Lipton.
coming up, yeah, as I'm coming up behind you, you're coming behind me anyway. You might as well maybe just clear out the clerk, and then you take control of this central section with your troops coming up, and I'll go to the go up to Lippe and see what's going on up there.
Okay,
I think that works.
understood.
Try and remember. Oh, it's Matrowski 2, right, that's why I was getting confused. Because that way I'll coordinate with Wiedenfeld on the right and try and push this French off, and then you've got, you can punch a hole through here, really.
Yeah, because
Do
you
you
have
know
like a
what's
super division.
Yeah, do you know anything to the south at all?
All I know is that Wormser seemed like pretty good in Solferino. I've not heard from Schottendorf,
Okay.
but
It would be
his artillery seemed perfectly fine.
fabulous. It would be useful if you could bring one of them up. Okay, sorted them.
Alright, so what are your orders?
So for me, so Mitrosky 1, form back into line again and just stay where they are and fire on the clerk and any other targets. I'm going to leave Spill, Gel 1 and Mitrosky 1 under Shobin's command now, and I'm going to go right over to Lippe and Matrowski 2, which is why I was getting confused. Go over to Matrowski 2 and kind of stay there from now on.
Then I guess someone will take your order, Shogun, if they haven't yet.
No, they have not. Yeah, so I would like the Lancers to advance between Metrovsky 1's 2 brigades.
Are you handling Chobanin's turn, James?
I've started to, yes.
Okay.
Keep going.
The Hussars are to move to behind Metrovsky 1's brigades just to prepare to countercharge. The Lancers are the only one to penetrate the 2. The Lancers are to charge down Leclerc whenever they break, but only after they break. And the Grenadiers are just to advance up and form in the line near where I am.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. But now that I only have one of those, it's getting short now. Now
Wait,
I have to
you
wait.
went from 3 to 1? How do you only have 1?
I have 2.
Oh.
I have Bonaparte and what is this? Auguero. So
Rajaro. Is Weidenfeld attacking? What kind of attack is Weidenfeld doing? Did someone?
He just ordered a general advance on this position here. In line, I asked if he wanted to do assault column. He did not. So.
Do it like that then. I've been forgetting to count off artillery fatigue. Oops.
All right,
I've been remembering at least for the artillery down.
Oh, good job.
This has been firing for 2 turns. No. The artillery near Davidovich would be at 3 turns, and the artillery for Weidenfeld is at 1. Yeah.
Nothing doing. that green mean the artillery's shooting down? Probably.
Or were these guys shooting at the it doesn't matter. They rolled a one.
I just rolled a 1 for it, yeah. So.
Oh, I'd already rolled to have it shoot at the guys over here.
Oh, okay.
So doesn't matter.
Alright, I think
Okay.
combat's done. Now it's 9:30.
Right.
Screenshot for Bonaparte.
Man, this man's really making me run the same dispatch to 3 different people. Golly.
Oh yeah. I sent one to someone, and then he immediately sent back to the sender. Kaiser, did you notice? And Kelman's
Yeah.
channel. It's 9:30, right?
Yes, I believe so.
General Worm, sir, you continue to survey the battlefield. Looks like one of Davidovich's, or half of Davidovich's brigade has routed, fleeing eastward to the south of the ridge, as well as some guns, but the rest seem to be holding. That's about all I can tell you. Are you staying here? You got 5 seconds, so I'll take that as a yes.
I'll move towards Chobinin's position where he is at the moment.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Alright, General Davidovich, you ride about a mile north along your line to join Liptay and Mitrowski's 2nd Brigade. You can see the French arrayed to your northwest as both sides stare at each other. Weidenfeld's division has gone in, and you can see them engaged with the French line to the north. Your own left wing remains engaged behind you. Your orders? You're muted.
Oh, and I was waxing lyrical so well as well. It was poetic. So mine is simple. So just to advance forward with Lippe, with my block here, with the archer in the centre, just advance forward on Rampon to get into musket range effectively and start a firefight, and bring the artillery up as well to get into canister range. And with the 2 brigades behind is reserve.
Okay.
Grand. Thanks.
Alright, General Fiorella, Tone's brigade continues, it does not deploy, but continues its march heading north towards the town of Cavriana. You continue to hear artillery fire now more to the northwest, far in the distance. You're just going to keep marching to that town?
In the northwest? Yes, gonna keep heading to Coriana.
Okay. You can send dispatches too, by the way, if you want to.
Oh yeah, I was just afraid of them getting intercepted, considering I'm literally right behind the enemy.
Combat time. Assault column.
Bonaparte is asking for Furella where he is.
Did he send a dispatch?
He just sent one, so it would maybe arrive next turn if
Yeah.
the rider can find Furella.
The French center is breaking.
So over here, this infantry just broke, and the grenadiers were coming up behind them. Would they still take morale damage because they weren't like fighting with them? But it's like just the sight of these guys breaking ahead of them enough to also still damage their morale.
Nah.
Okay.
Oops.
Have you already rolled for the artillery over here?
I did not know.
Okay, well.
I think all the combat in the north is done.
Yeah, I'm done with my stuff.
Alright, 10 o'clock.
Simplest Messiah turn so far. James, Chobinin wanted to see if he could rally the Matrowski one that's on 6. Does that actually do anything?
The one you can't really rally them while they're fighting, but you can join them and give them a bonus at the expense of maybe dying.
I don't think that was his intention. So someone actually is there a kill main player?
Yes, yes.
Uh, man, him and Fiorella are really on the marching sim grind right now.
Fiorella more than anybody else.
I feel so
Yeah.
bad for Coleman because he was just barely out of the Austrian vision for so long. So like he thought he was just out in like the empty plane. And like he just kept getting reports about like the small amounts of like cavalry, artillery on the flanks.
Have these hussars that are all the way over here, are they like fully routed or will they make their way
I
back?
think they'll kind of stop in where they're at and we'll eventually come back, but
Alright.
we're taking our time.
Also, Weidenfeld's artillery is opening fire again now that the way is clear.
I did. I did that already. Alright. So you arrive at Cavriana. A courier sent from Napoleon finds you, and your pickets have spotted Austrian cavalry in the fields and plains to the west. You still hear artillery fire. You are getting closer to it, but it's still a couple miles northwest from what you can tell. Your orders.
Splendid. We will cut directly to Soprano
To where?
in northwest Solferino.
Okay.
That's not how to pronounce these names.
Head to Solferino.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What
I'll be sending a dis.
what will you do about that cavalry if it attacks or?
If it attacks battalion to hang back and cover artillery, proceeds forward.
Thank you. Alright, General Davidovich, your right wing attack goes in at about the same time that Weidenfeld is pulling his division back. But the attack seems to go well, as it was also timed with a cavalry charge from the Lancers under Schubers, which forced the enemy to form square and then they got shot up pretty bad as Liptay advanced, and so the French center is breaking, although they do seem to have a second line of reserves. Um, Other than that,
Fab.
you're pretty much engaged all along the line.
Only orders are to swap the two Mitra villages around, see if I can save them from being broken. And if I need to, I'll go over to that brigade to bolster its morale. And then for the artillery and Lippe to continue to pound the enemy to the front. And yeah, nothing else to move really, just to continue to attack. Just swap those two Mitrovilic's around.
Okay.
If they can. If they break, which is suspected, and they run, then shift the Lippe reserve brigade kind of to the right flank. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
To support that end of the line. And that's it. I think there's nothing else to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Every brigade is behind both of them. That one that's kind of bisecting the two.
All right, got it.
And the Hussars are to charge Victor Pernia's brigade. Matrowski's one. Matrowski and Spiegel are to take the time to rest.
All right, Trausch and Spiegel are resting.
Wormser, you
Spiegel can't rest because they're being fired on by artillery. You might as well order him to advance.
So is Spiegel reporting up being fired upon?
Yes,
Okay.
they are.
Spiegel, yeah, can advance and cover the flank of the grenadier attack.
All right.
Wormser, are you staying here?
Yes, so I'll move to Davidovich.
Davidovich, okay. Oops,
Alright.
wrong one.
Chobinin, are you staying where you are?
Can I physically move to join the, like, I guess between the grenadier columns? Just kind of want to see how the attack is panning out.
All right.
Like, putting yourself in the line
Like-
of fire, joining them?
Yeah, that's actually a good.
I guess I'll just stay close to Matrowski 1. I kind of wanted to go where you have the A at, but I guess not.
I mean, you can
I'm
go there.
responsible for
It's
this entire line.
just risky.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
might die, you know?
I'll just stay here.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. That Austrian player, Spottendorf, is in for a very nasty surprise right now. I would not want to be in his shoes if I were playing.
Oh, because he's
The
about to
big
get...
question is if they can exploit it, since I think neither Bonaparte nor any other French player knows where Fiorella is. So
The Grenadiers over here, by the way, that they were supposed to be meeting up with Agranjean, the guy with the A for the first letter. I was just gonna have them like engage with us until they reach near other.
Augereau gave them specific orders to form line south of the artillery.
Okay. All right, no worries then.
Yeah, he's very careful with his movements. bit more decisive action would help the French, in my opinion, but and he lost sight because he's running a troop again.
Who? Napoleon?
Okay. The Hussars got orders to charge those 6-pounders. I'm slightly moved the ramp on one to make way, though I don't know.
The Hussars. Oh, yeah, let me roll for that.
Yeah.
Let's see, 5. Alright,
He was umpiring for the aggro.
Ojiro.
Yeah, that's me.
Can you let him know? So his artillery here, I didn't want to put the red 7 because I mean, they're not like broken. They're just they have to stop firing for at least a turn because the guns are too fouled.
No, you can show them it's
Then
broken.
remove the.
Just tell them they're tired and out of ammo.
Yeah, they're not retreating, but they're not routed yet.
Okay. That might happen sooner or later.
Oh yeah, if they get attacked again, then yeah, they're just gonna retreat. But at least for the second, they're just resting and letting the guns rest.
Yeah. But actually, if he is running his troop, he will not even seize it.
Shobunin needs to exploit the gap and send in Matrowski, even though they're tired. He's missing his opportunity.
He is, yeah.
We'll see.
I feel like
Maybe
wait,
he'll do
is
it
the
now.
artillery over here able to fire since it's like behind the other artillery? It kind of seems like it's.
No, I don't.
spot.
They got forgotten. I don't know.
They forgore.
Their reserve artillery to keep fresh. I don't know. All right, 10:30.
Right.
Oh, hang on. Is there? Would you say that the 7th Dragoons will be able to get through those Lancers and the Matrowski 1 there? They did have orders too. I just don't know if there's physically a way for them to
Oh,
get through that.
through the Lancers to go where?
Yeah. They're trying to get here.
I mean, yeah, we can show them here, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
And they can attack
Thank you.
next turn.
Let's see.
All right, General Fiorella. So you march west. Solferino, you're told by your staff, is about a mile northwest. But as you get west, you can see Austrian hussars and dragoons operating on the fields to your west. You can also see some French cavalry. Looks like they're chasing them. You recognize them as Kilmain's reserve division. And then just beyond the cavalry, you can see some dust clouds rising above the road and a column of infantry marching towards you on that same road that you're on. What are your orders?
All right. I will have the form two battalion on my current position, and wait for the artillery to come up as well. We're gonna meet them here for the incoming infantry.
Got it.
Edenfeld is actually broken. He's just. Yeah, it looks okay.
All right, gentlemen, you are co-located. Wormser has joined Davidovich.
Yep.
Mitrowski was able to switch in some fresh demi-brigades, but you're taking a pounding. Um, some French hussars have charged your artillery and managed to break through and get to them, overrun your artillerymen. Lipte's doing a good job holding. Mitrowski looks a little bit more ragged.
Yep.
And Weidenfeld's, except for artillery, doesn't seem to be engaging anymore.
Okay. My orders are simple. So Mitrowski just to continue to engage Ramon, one the one that's opposite him, try and break him, just rally the one behind. Lippe is to move to, I guess, form square, or move to the right and form square and stop that cavalry coming in any further. And then Lippe, the 4 Lippe, just to continue to engage the rampon to the front. There's nothing much more to do at the moment. We just try and break these regiments to the front.
Per my direct orders, just order the 24th directly to hold the position and not advance. I'll move back to Spottendorf. I'll move to Spottendorf's position here.
You're moving to Spottendorf. And where do you think Spottendorf is?
Near my former positions, just west of Solferino, near the heights, or south of it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, that might be actually the best thing that could happen. But he brings Despino's north.
Those grenadiers are good at what they do. 3, 4, 5. French center is really toast.
All right.
Uh-oh, lost landmark.
I had a question here. So, the infantry, as you know, started here, and they're
Mhm.
double timing it over to like here. Um, so would you say that the infantry, like the artillery here, if they take like 10 to 20 minutes to unlumber, would they still be able to get a fire off, shoot off at these guys as they were marching? Sorry, tap that.
That's if that's where they're
Because
deploying.
like they're
It's,
unlumbering this turn, so like it would be
yeah,
towards the end of the turn that it will fire.
I'd say no, especially because they're so far
Okay.
away.
I'm just gonna. I mean, I'll have them like at least like relumber up in the same
Yeah.
turn.
Okay, I'm back. Let me find the game again, and then I can rejoin. There it is.
Right.
Did anyone target the gun this turns?
Let me see. The artillery here. I mean, I haven't heard any extra orders from them, so I'm just.
Yeah, they're just shooting
Okay.
at what they can.
Yep. These guys shot at the cannons again.
Did
So,
they hit?
I
And
rolled-
are they now really broken, or?
I rolled a 6, so I mean, yeah. So these guys are like, I would say they're I mean,
Pulling back.
artillery is really easy to scare. So if they're already exhausted and like trying to rest, and now they're getting shot at by pretty
Yeah, I
like
would say they are routed then.
these guys need to be permanent to 6. Okay, and now the cavalry charges over here. I need to take care of these real quick. Okay. Stars rolled a 3, so that's 1 damage. And light cavalry doesn't get a bonus on the charge, right?
Correct.
Okay. They do get a bonus just because it's melee still, right? Like, so it's +1.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and now the infantry, they need to fire first. Five, nice. And now they're gonna engage in melee. Okay, that's right. I'm done with the combat down here.
11 o'clock.
Oh.
Yes.
Alright, General Fiorella. Charton's brigade starts to deploy just outside the town of Castiglione. And as they're deploying in the line, you see the Austrian cavalry forming up to charge, and so you quickly form square, at least on your left wing. And they do charge in and are now circling around your squares that you formed, trying to find an opening. Your artillery is arriving in the rear, as is your light brigade. And as beyond the cavalry, you can see more Austrians moving to the north and west, as well as Kilmaine operating to your west. What are your orders?
I will push the artillery to the right of the formation along with my light brigade.
To the right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, anything else?
No, that'll be it.
Okay, thank you. All right, General Davidovich. So,
Hello.
Mitrowski's brigade has seen too much carnage in one day and is starting to break. Lipte has secured the guns and sent the hussars running, and also he reports that the French brigade before him is starting to break and retreat. Weidenfeld's division is starting to advance, and that's about it.
Okay, orders. So Lippe's brigade and square is to move to the right of the guns, pull back, and they've already started retreating anyway. But that give them an orders to Mitrovic to pull back and to rest and recuperate where I am, and then to the 5 Lippe on the left, they are to charge into Rampon's 1 and just break them. Are the guns still actually firing, or are they just kind of like silenced now?
They're silenced. I forgot to take away the
Okay,
smoke.
that's okay. So yeah, in that case, Lippe to move through the guns to charge into Rampon, the Rampon 6 to form into charge them, and both Lippes. Yeah, I'm waffling on it. Both Lippes to attack the Rampons in front.
Yep.
That was a simpler way of saying it rather than going around the houses. And I will, just hang around and try and rally Petrowski's to where we are now.
Okay.
My tiredness is kicking in.
What time is it there? 5?
4:30.
Oh my gosh. We've got almost as many. We got you, Legbart, and Chinleaf. Although it's less early for Chinleaf, but still like 7 a.m. for him. It's like almost half the groups in Europe.
In fact, are all the Austrians in Europe actually for this game?
Is reservists?
I think. I'm not too sure. Oh no, reservist isn't. No, he isn't. Of course.
I don't think Prozac is either.
Right.
Chobinin. I don't know about Spotendorf either. Okay. I gotta get more orders.
His cavalry, they haven't moved at all.
Oh, I must have moved them back up. Okay, I'm sorry. I was going to move them back up. Okay, they are further south, east from there. They're about they're directly south of the infantry, as you saw before. All right, I was moving them back at one point to ask James about something. Sorry about that.
That's all good. So basically they're directly south of my current line infantry that's set up.
Yeah, they're getting into position where you wanted them.
So yeah, they're to get to that position and form into line immediately, and then, so yeah, I want them in line, and then I want the So did you say my cavalry withdrew from that attack, or they're still fighting?
They're still fighting.
God, I don't want to lose them. Yeah, so cavalry is to immediately break off the attack on that square, and I'll sound recall for them to head north.
Where would you like them
Yeah,
to
tell
end up
that
north?
tell that infantry brigade to move at the double, the one that's
They
being
already are.
about to be outflanked. Okay.
And they actually aren't about to be outflanked. I established that they're further east than they are on the screenshot.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but I moved them and then
That's
I
all
moved them
good.
back to ask James about something, and I just forgot to move them back.
No, it's all good. I'm not super worried about it. As long as they aren't actually where they were in the screenshot, I'm good.
Yeah. Where did you want the cavalry to head to in the northeast? Like, what position? What, do you want them on?
They're
flank,
to
or-
aim for. Let's see what village I can read to give a. Let's see, they're gonna be at Cardello. Piev Martina.
Yeah, Martinez, where you want them to try and go?
Yeah, I want them to try and make it there. And then the infantry battalion that is forming between me and Cardello, they're to get in line as soon as possible and face, southeast.
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
They're to get online immediately and face southeast.
Mm.
And then my horse artillery, I want them basically at the junction between the two infantry battalions facing southwest.
Alright.
And of course,
You still want the infantry that was already in position last turn to be facing
I'll have them
southwest?
I'll have them wheel slightly to face the direction where Kilmaine is in the screenshot.
Alright, I'll see you next turn.
Alright, thank you.
Wormser, are you staying here?
I'll move to my former positions on the heights west of Solferino, and my personal orders are to assemble 2 batteries, the one that is currently reorganizing that chop it in order to, and the one currently behind the 12-pounders firing from the heights entrenched. And alongside the horse artillery, they're just going to form a grand battery and assist Sputtendorf in any any engagement that they face. I'll stay at the heights just west of Solferino, moving up to get a better position,
Got
get a
it.
view of the battlefield.
Thank you.
You know where Worms is firing his artillery there? Like, which guys he's firing them at?
Nah, it's almost out of range.
Blue.
Let's see. Maybe at those dragoons over to the west.
It's pretty big arc for the artillery to be firing it. That's...
Massena's in trouble.
Also, those Spiegel units, and they couldn't stand there. They
Right,
should
we got the
run.
French grenadiers coming to hit the Austrian flank and save the day.
Yeah, but those units shouldn't even be this Spiegel because it's already rolled. Kaiser,
Yeah.
Spiegel is already broken.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw you ping it. I moved him back to where he was.
James,
No,
in
he
your
should
next
run
one-
away. He
Okay.
should run away.
James, in your next update to Wormser, let them know that the artillery here needs to stop firing.
Okay,
They've fouled the guns. They need to wait a little.
got it.
These dragoons need to be running away. Oh, well. This is a very unfortunate series of events for Messena.
Alright, 11:30.
These guys in squares, would they be able to attack the cavalry since they kind of got trapped in by the French cavalry? Or is that entirely defensive?
I mean, it is defensive, but they're probably close enough they could still be firing at them. They'd still be firing at them.
But since it's just like the square, not the entire line, I'll give them like a bit of a penalty.
Yeah, it's a minus. I can't remember my modifier. -1 or -2 attack.
Well, they rolled a 3, so either any modifier and a negative would be met there.
Okay.
Oh, wait, it's a flank, so I guess it cancels out, so be interested in
Combat in the north.
these guys are
Still.
firing. I had like I could be really mean and say they fired us, the cavalry rode in front of them, but no, I'll have them fire at the infantry here.
It's 11:30, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So these guys rolled a perfect 6, and they're firing at an angle. I mean, is it still only just 2 damage? Because I feel like if they're firing at if they're hitting the angle, so that it's doing extra damage, and then they're also rolling such like a perfect hit, that'd be
I'd still just do 2.
okay.
Artillery can't be too powerful.
I will say that, I mean, as the cavalry were riding past, I would say they would still take like raking fire from the infantry here at like a penalty since they're running past.
It's your call.
I think that makes sense.
Sure.
I mean, do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, if they're running by.
Because like they're running like directly in front of the infantry, like
Yeah.
this gap here.
That would do it.
You would do it? Alright, I'll say that's like a 4 since they were running past for only part of it. Okay, I'm done with the combat down here. Oh, are we ready for 11:30?
Yep.
Believe so.
Alright, General Fiorella. So Charton's left flank was assisted by a cavalry charge from Kilmaine, which sandwiched the Austrian dragoons between your squares and themselves and broke them. You can see an Austrian division under Spottendorf to the north is arriving and deploying. And your light brigade your artillery has arrived, started firing, and your light brigade is arriving and starting to deploy as well. Your orders?
Splendid. We advanced the infantry gate, the enemy position, supported by the artillery, while the light brigade forms up.
So you say advance, Charton, advance, and engage?
Artillery. Yes.
Okay, got it. Alright, General Davidovich, you mostly busy yourself with helping Mitrosky get his brigade back into some kind of organization. You can see Liptay's men form an assault column and charge forward, almost out of sight, but Liptay sends a animated courier saying that the the whole French line is running. It looks very excited.
Okay. My orders are so Machado is just to stay here and recover. I'm going to move up to Lipte and keep him moving forward. If there's a second line obvious, then for them to turn to deploy into line to engage the second line. Otherwise, I just keep going forward and attacking, and I'll go up to join them. And they've got 6-pounders if they once they recover, have them shift fire south east to support Mitralski 1 in case there's anything in that direction.
Got it. Thank you.
Front. Thanks.
All right, General Webster. So you get back onto your favorite spot where you can get a pretty good view. The guns that have been firing to the west in that fortification have been forced to stop firing. The guns are too fouled and the men too tired, so they're taking a break and cleaning the guns. The other guns that haven't been firing yet, you get going and they start shooting southwest at some enemy cavalry there. You can see that one of looks like Spottendorf's cavalry have been charged by the French cavalry and are breaking. Actually, two Austrian cavalry brigades are breaking. And then to the north, you can see a French flanking attack by grenadiers going in on Chaubenin's southern flank. Are you staying here?
Yeah, I'll stay here, and the artillery battery that has one disruption mark, they will replace the one that are exhausted and broken in the trenches, and they will immediately begin firing everything they have against the French line infantry that are currently attacking the Schubert's grenadiers.
Okay.
On their flanks, basically. And that's about it. That's all I could do.
All right. Capture.
It doesn't look good for the French here.
No. Unless those grenadiers can So the Austrians are pretty weak. If the Grenadiers get aggressive, they really should be doing assault columns. They could roll up. They could break Showman in, maybe get to Davidovich. And with Fiorella and Kilmaine, it'd be enough to force the Austrians back as well. Basically be a draw.
Yeah, at least they're charging the gun position now, but
Oh, are
with the
they?
dragoons.
Wait, with cavalry up a hill? No.
Oh, that's gonna be nasty.
Yep. Cavalry up a hill.
By the way, James, over here, these dragoons are charging Liptay instead of continuing whatever they were doing up here.
Oh, okay. Well then, that breaking will turn into a rout. Let's mow them down.
So, if infantry is in line formation, will they still try to and they're currently engaged, like you see down here? Will they still try to form up into square, or would you say they just are kind of forced to be flanked?
If they're already engaged, they wouldn't form square.
What if they're engaged at the same time by the infantry and the artillery? The cavalry, as you can see here.
That's your call. I'd probably be nice and say they can.
Don't they take Do they take extra damage from light infantry when they're in
Yeah,
square?
so the line infantry does like a +1 against them because they're in square.
Okay.
So
Also, James, you see that Hussar unit that's coming north? That should be now under Masina's command.
I don't know which one you're talking about. Oh, that was.
This one.
I don't have Messena.
Oh,
You
which
don't have?
one? No, it's me. What
It's
are you?
Kaiser.
This
one?
Hussar is now under Masina.
All right.
Is combat in the south done?
Oh, sorry, I just got it started now.
Did someone move those hussars? These ones right here near the Pigeon.
Move them.
I was just asking if
I did
someone
move them
did.
because they basically surrounded Picon and our capital.
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
Oh, unlucky. Kilmaine just rolled a 6. He's just dead.
Who was?
Kilmaine, the
Oh,
commander
damn.
here.
Oh, he died?
Yeah, so that does morale damage to the guys he's with, right?
Yeah, it doesn't help their spirits.
Ah, thank God he's dead.
Wait,
Finally.
the other units too, right? Or is it just the ones he's with?
Just the one that he's with.
Okay.
That's funny.
That was a very unfortunate turn for Kilmaine. I'm just going to let him know that he's dead.
He had a glorious charge.
Davidovich. Jumping in.
Oh, didn't. I'm thinking he didn't roll that combat here yet, and I need to.
Oh, thank you.
Surprisingly indecisive.
Good for the Austrians.
That charge up the hill ain't happening. Okay, now I can do screenshots.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Whoever's in, yeah, James, let no Fiorella know that he has the remnants of
Okay.
Kilmain's forces here at the next turn. All right. Are we taking the 12 o'clock
Yep.
messages? Okay.
Wait, who did I just? Wait, hang on. I think I might have sent the thing to children to onwards.
Alright, General Worm, sir. Your guns were getting set up to fire westward when the French dragoons tried to charge up the hill and attack your town and fortress. So you deployed them to shoot on them instead and sent them running. You can see Spottendorf is heavily engaged with Fiorella to the south, and it looks like one of the French generals, the cavalry general, has been killed in the fight. Yeah, that's about it. Your orders? You're muted.
Uh, I guess I'll stay here. The artillery is to begin firing at the enemy infantry on their flanks to the west, since the enemy dragoons have already broken.
Okay. Alright, General Lipte's brigade, his assault columns continue forward. They slam into a hastily put together second line of defense by Massena and break those as well. Some of Lipte's regiments are still chasing him down, but his left wing got countercharged by some dragoons, and those regiments are breaking and running directly towards you. Elsewhere, the battle is chaotic, but it looks like generally the French are retreating and the Austrians are chasing them. You can hear more sounds of artillery and musket fire to the south than anywhere else now.
Okay. So my other brigade of Lipte that's left, they are to shift kind of to where my position is now and form square there. Artillery to fire on the dragoons if they can, and then Matowski's brigade to come up to kind of again roughly to where my position is and support the 6-pounder guns, form square either side of them for sake of argument to fend off these dragoons if they attack. And I shall I'll stay with Matrowski. When Matrowski's brigade comes up, I'll stay with them. Thanks.
Okay.
How long do you reckon we've got left, roughly?
Probably half hour's about right.
Cool.
Still 2-ish turns, maybe.
Been fun so far.
That's good. Alright, General Fiorella. So, Charton is heavily engaged with Gummer, the Austrian Gummer Brigade. It seems to be doing well. Kilmaine launched a cavalry assault on the Austrian flank, forcing them to form square, which helped. But as you watch from your position, you see as Kilmaine is gunned down. and falls from his horse onto the field of battle. His units are without a commander now, so they fall to you, being the closest one. Your light troops are deployed and ready on your right flank, and that's it.
I will immediately tell the artillery to unlimber and pour fire into them as they are in square. I will hold the hussars where they currently are and tell my light brigade to outflank the enemy from their right flank.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right. Can he do a fighting with withdrawal here, or is it is he kind of? It seems to me like if he withdraw, like they would just advance up, right? Like they kind of have the advantage here.
I mean, you can do a fighting withdrawal. Yeah. Like.
Okay.
I mean, it's.
How far? I mean,
They're
very
gonna
small
move
distance
like
away.
one grid. If it's a fighting withdrawal, like one-ish grid. One unit's already breaking, so I don't know if that. I gotta roll for that.
But I assume that like the French would just like keep up with them if they were trying to fight.
Yeah, they would. I would assume. Are these dragoons still attacking, or what are they doing? Do we know? I'm gonna have them withdraw.
Thank you for moving those dragoons. Yeah, that's where you wanted them.
Oh, I can read the
He
general's
can really
mind.
control any of the rest of his force.
So Davidovich and Weidenfeld are together.
Well, the fighting retreat didn't do much because there was just so much French fire on these guys right here that they both surrendered this turn.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Oof. Yeah, that's a lot of artillery fire on the flanks, and
These guys will be able to fire again this turn, right?
who should what?
The yellow over here.
Yes.
They didn't fire last turn, right? Okay.
Well, they just barely got rested, so I wouldn't have them fire yet.
Okay. Did someone else assault the grenadiers, or should I
Yeah,
resolve?
I did that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because those guys were training.
He did.
I did that already too, actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
they are tethered over here.
Yep. Sorry.
That's fine. I don't want me to slow up resolving comment.
It's still actually a fairly even game. Like one French corps or division's routed, but we're about to have two
a lot of the.
Austrian
So
divisions
basically
routed.
just trading position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought the French had this in the bag, to be honest, and then I saw like the entire French corps up here just disintegrated.
Yeah, the Austrians had good combined arms and a couple lucky rolls.
Right, so it's ready for screenshots.
Yeah, 12:30.
Take for screenshots.
All right, General Fiorella. Overall, excellent news. So Kilmain's horse artillery deploy and fire on the enemy's flank to devastating effect, while your Charton keeps them engaged in the center, and then your light brigade moves in and attacks the other flank, and basically the enemy is routing / captured / overrun. So that's going well for you. And yeah, you can see Kilmain's cavalry are you got one unit of hussars in okay shape. The rest are forming up behind the artillery, reforming. Some of the regiments within Charton's brigade have broken and will need to reorganize. Your orders? You there?
I just realized I was muted. Is this a surrender or?
I thought so, but I think the umpire just misused the tokens. They're just breaking. They're running, retreating.
Okay. I will have the Hussars now pursue the enemy commander, and if not, go for the artillery.
Okay.
I will have the horse artillery move and reposition to put fire on the next enemy position further north. and move my light brigade on the town itself.
Got it.
And I'll have my artillery follow behind the light brigade.
Thank you.
You
Okay.
Bertine or whatever that enemy is, Burton.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, generals. So, the enemy dragoons have pulled off from Lipte. He did form square, but seems like pretty much the French to your north are completely withdrawing with Weidenfeld's division in pursuit. Mitrowski has moved up. His men are in somewhat decent shape, though still haggard from the earlier fighting. You hear lots of artillery fire and musket fire further southwest, and that's it.
Okay, so I'll go first with orders. So, Matrowski number 2 is going to come under Weidenfeld's command from now on. I'm going to Lippe and my 6-pounder guns are going to move up to attach to the 27th to my north, and my guns come in between Mitowski 1 and Lippe, and then fire on that French unbroken French brigade, or where that little ridge is. Deploy there. I'll stay here, and I'll take control of the 27th and the cavalry in the north. The 7th dragoons, which are to my south, order them south to Wormser, please.
Okay. My 27th is to go under Davidovich's command. I'm to take Matrowski's 2nd, my artillery, and my 23rd. And we are going to march south to Solferino. March south down the line and see what the fighting is along the line to the south.
Okay.
That's about it. Oh, and my hussars, which regarding my artillery, should come with me. Forgot to mention.
Wow, she's so long.
Are you moving? Well, okay. I know what you're doing.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, was I supposed to say that, Dumpire Kaiju?
No, you can do it.
I got it already.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll send a
I think
dispatch
we found
to the CIC. Okay, so
Thank you. Letting them know we've both seen it.
yeah, right.
Appreciate it.
It's going. James is currently taking care of these two. I think he
James,
just finished up.
Since one of my players died, I can take someone else if you want. I got done pretty early, especially now that my player only has a 1 cannon to his name.
Why don't you take Fiorella back then?
Okay. Have you already moved from?
Yeah, he's already moved.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let's see what's going on here. So that is everyone here? Is this?
That's it. The cannons would start firing again now, right?
Yeah, they can fire now. The Grenadiers, is that as far as they're going? They're not pursuing?
Nope, they have no orders to move forward.
Okay, I'll take the smoke away then. And then they're charging
But
them. So they get
Bertrand is attacking the artillery.
Not enough though. Okay. I guess that artillery will shoot at him too.
Oh, okay. Are you rolling for this artillery?
No, not that one. You can
Okay,
do that.
okay.
I was doing something further north. So it's kind of moving to phase 2, and I still don't know who's winning.
Yeah.
You got Fiorella pushing from the south, but Ogero's being cautious now.
It looks to me that the French are winning, or at least they would be winning if they would be pushing forward.
Pushing, yeah.
You can't really flank artillery with other artillery cannons, right? Like, I mean, over here, These
No.
guys, firing these guys, you wouldn't count that as a flank, right?
No, they're up in their fortress too, so it's almost impossible to hurt that one because it's -1 for artillery, -1 for range, -1 for the hill, and -1 for the
-1 for the
fortress.
range. That you said they could fire up to a mile.
So if it's 50% or more away, so it's basically if it's further than half a mile, then it's another -1. So basically, they need to roll a 6 to do any kind of anything.
Okay.
Well, I think we'll give them one more turn. We'll see what the French do. Yeah, because that Austrian line's close to breaking.
It is very, very close.
Yeah.
The most tenuous thing of all time.
Well, at least they can recover this turn because nobody is shooting at them.
Yeah,
Oh, they can. Yeah.
that's a good point. And they got reinforcements coming from the north, so I don't know. All right, we'll do at least one more turn. So now it's 1, 2 screenshots, and I don't have fuel out of that anymore. 1300. Oops. Sorry about that. I just completely forgot to come get your orders. Unfortunately, I've already processed the turn, so we'll just say you were had a stomach issue. So the French to the south are moving up into Solferino and towards the ridge. Actually, that doesn't make any sense. The French line to the west has stopped their advance, and Chauvenin's line are holding where they're at. There's a lot of routed regiments that are and brigades that are moving east to reform, and yeah.
Okay. So my orders are for the 7th Dragoons, for the Troopers, Lanciers to outflank Fiorella's infantry and just break them. The artillery is to continue firing as much as they can towards the infantry. The artillery that is near the trenches will continue firing on the Grenadier Grenadiers to the west, and yeah, that's basically it.
Oh, the 7th Dragoons, by the way, near you. Oh, Spotendorf's with you. They are assigned to your command from, I think, Davidovich or someone up north.
Yeah, well, regardless, I'm the commander-in-chief, so I'm gonna countermand any orders that they have.
Okay.
Anyways, execute the orders that are specified, outflank the Fiorella's infantry and have the artillery fire at the infantry, specifically even the one with the 6 disruption mark, and have the artillery with the 3 disruption mark keep firing at the Grenadier Grenadiers to the west.
Got it. All right. Thank you. All right, General Davidovich, you move north to establish command over the 27th and reform
Yep.
Lipte. The French continue to flee northwest, and you can see remnants of a new line forming to the west southwest. And your 6-pounders are formed up and firing. And that's it.
Okay. So send orders to the 2 cavalry units to engage the French dragoons as soon as possible.
Okay.
Lippe and the 27th are to head. It's going to be southwest, isn't it, from my angle, onto the ridge line and engage that one remaining fresh French brigade. If they need to form square because the dragoons come towards them, then form square and stop their movement forward. And the 6-pounder guns to continue to fire on the French to their front. That's it for me. Thank you.
If Langbart, if these units are not moving, make sure to dial back their disruption.
Yes, I am doing that
Okay.
right now. Um, those moved, those did not. So it's 3.
Is the French, are they going to advance?
You mean this big line? No.
Yeah, the giant line of fairly fresh
Yep.
troops.
Nope. They are resting. What is advancing are the grenadiers. They are assault come up that
That
ridge line.
is,
Assault column
oh my
along the
god,
ridge.
Oh, so they wanted to commit suicide?
they're dying and oh no. Very brave men. That's a waste.
Yes,
So,
he had so many options to use them, and he chose now when he couldn't see what's in front of them to attack the artillery position up on the ridge line
On a
from
fortress.
the valley.
Oh,
And I rule that the only way they can get up there is an assault column if they want to attack anything, because that's a ridge line. That's not
that's a ridge
very
line.
wide.
Oh my god.
which is, any rules that said that canister fire only works at like 200 yards. How many grid squares is
It's
that
like
again?
1 grid.
Okay. So basically, like the range that a infantry would have.
Yeah,
Yes.
basically.
Have these been sitting still for one turn? The Matrowski one, the Gunmer, and all that?
They just barely stopped running, so I think the
Oh,
next
okay.
turn they would start to recover.
Yeah, gotcha.
soon as you finish combat in the south, I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Are we going to 130?
No, we'll call it here. I think it's going to be. I don't think the French will break through the Austrian line,
Did
nor
you already
will.
handle this combat here?
Yeah, I did that one.
Okay.
Nor will the Austrians break through what remains of the French, so it's going to be a bit of a stalemate, which
Yeah.
is better than historical for the Austrians.
All right.
So
I'm done down here. There was only some cannons firing, and
Yeah.
since you handled one of the cannons, it's not much for me.
all right, bring everyone to the lobby. Oops.
Drift.
Is that everyone? Looks like it.
Sounds like it.
All right, welcome everyone. This was a fun game. Before I remove the fog of war and reveal all, let's talk to the commanders and get their state of mind currently. We'll start with Napoleon Bonaparte. How do you think your army is doing?
I'm feeling okay. Things are definitely not going as well as I would like them to in the north, but I think that we have troops on hand to get a handle on the situation, and I believe that Fiorella's assault on the Austrian rear has paid some good dividends, so I feel pretty positive right now.
All right. Then Wormser, how are you feeling?
Subjective, because we definitely won in the north, but the south might be a bit more stable.
All right. Let me share my screen. All right. So, start off with we had a ahistorical deployment in that the Austrians knew or expected Fiorella would be coming from the south as he did historically, and so they thought to basically deploy north of the ridge to stay as far away from that as possible and also have the ridge to defend from, which was smart. And then the French likewise deployed actually the majority of their forces to the north. So both were basically, whereas I think historically, maybe even to have perhaps having some more in the south, everyone was actually more in the north. And then the French had to deal with, they had more numbers, but Despinoy wasn't there initially. He was coming up from the rear. And of course, Fiorella was coming from the south. And so it was kind of cut off and had slow communication. As far as the battle, so I had Davidovich and Vermser for all of it and Fiorella for some of it. Davidovich basically went in straight from the get-go and then started engaging, I believe was Augereau's line. Pretty heavy fighting all around this area. From the Austrian perspective, from what I could see, they did pretty good using combined arms with infantry, artillery, and then cavalry to break the French line in places, which ultimately basically routed Massena's whole division. There were times where Davidovich was attacking, or Weidenfeld was attacking and Davidovich wasn't, and then Davidovich was attacking and Weidenfeld wasn't. So there was a little bit of coordination errors there. And then there was a breakthrough in the center after the Lancers had made a breakthrough and basically blew a hole in the French center. But then Mitrowski's brigade, which I believe was under Chauvenin at that point, didn't exploit it, and so there was a half-hour time where a gap in the French line wasn't really well exploited. But overall, the Austrians did well in the north, as was mentioned. I mean, routed a whole division. At the end here, Davidovich is on the attack on the flank again, but both sides are pretty tired. The French, from what I saw, so they got overwhelmed at first, but had decent reserves. And then when Despinoy came up and we had the Grenadiers on the flank, there was a chance to really hit Schobenin hard on the flank and then start rolling up the Austrian flank. And that was a missed opportunity because the French line held here and allowed the Austrian line to rest and recover. And had they just gone aggressive, especially with the Grenadiers going in assault column, rather than going up the ridge at a fortified artillery position, if they'd just gone kind of this way into the Austrian flank an hour ago, I think Schobenin's division would have broken, and then probably Davidovich's after that. So that was a missed opportunity on the French side. In the south, so Fiorella lost some time. He moved up to Guidisolo and then spent maybe an hour there waiting, I guess, to see what was going to happen. But that delay hurt a lot, and then finally he got into combat here and did pretty well, working with Kilmaine. The two pretty much overwhelmed Spotendorf, but Kilmaine got himself killed in a glorious charge, unfortunately. But between him and Fiorella, they were able to break Spotendorf's line and push the Austrians back to the ridge here just north of Solferino, where Wormser is making a desperate defense with his artillery about him. At this point, it's I think both sides are too tired and too weak to decisively defeat the other, and so it'll kind of end up as a stalemate for the day, which is better than historical for the Austrian side. And then I guess either further fighting tomorrow or maybe one side would retreat in the night. I don't know. But that's what I'm calling it. So kind of a stalemate in the end, with heavy casualties on both sides, and then you can decide which side you think won, if you had to call it. But let's hear from all the umpires and then players as we always do. So umpire Kaiser.
Hello, I had Schobenin, Weidenfeld, and then later Messena within this game. Yeah, a lot of it was very interesting. This was quite the tug of war, a very well fought battle by both sides, I think. In the north, there was as James already mentioned, there was a little bit of miscoordination between Davidovich and Weidenfeld that unfortunately I think cost a very, very decisive entire fold of this whole thing while that center was already being pushed through. But still they managed to rout that entire division just maybe a turn later than they could have. And they're continuing the assault. I don't think anything decisive will happen up here, unfortunately. On Massena's end, that was a very well fought fighting retreat. Unfortunately, there was just so much overwhelming Austrian presence there. It took a while for Bonaparte to make it back up there to reinforce. So, unfortunately, I don't think he could have held that position really. But he managed to make a fighting retreat, and some of his units, a decent portion of his division, are starting to reform up here as best they can. As for Schobenin, definitely well played. Did a little bit of a missed opportunity in the exploiting the center, but also from where he was standing, it was almost you could see maybe the edge of it. And without coordination from Davidovich, I don't know that he could have exploited it successfully. And now again, Austrians down here in the south, a very good fighting retreat. And the failure of the French to continue to push forward really. At first, I was thinking it was going to be a fairly decisive French victory here, but it turned into, as we can see, a stalemate in the south. I think that's it for me.
All right, thank you. Umpire Langbart?
Okay, I had mostly Bonaparte and Ageru. Bonaparte did well. He moved along the line most of the time, keeping in contact with his commanders. And then he took the reserve division and positioned it north to guard the flank. That was, in my opinion, very important that we came to a stalemate. Otherwise, there was a good chance that the French position would have been flanked and then routed. Augereau, on the other hand, had the French center. Um, he lost a lot of vision when he was recovering units. That on the one hand, that had the advantage that he had them ready sooner to be put back on the line, but on the other hand, he lost the overview of what was happening. And the next problem that was he didn't do anything with those units. Most of the time in the last turns, the line was standing there and was not exploiting the opportunities they had. Because if they would have pushed the Austrians forcefully, there was a good chance that the line would have broken and it would have been a glorious French victory. Also, the last thing, the charge up the hill. Now, the last time with the Grenadiers on the ridge line, while not seeing anything what's up the ridge line, how it's defended, and how good the unit actually looks, was very
Costly.
direct and costly. Otherwise, well, it was a decent game, and I had a lot of fun seeing it play out.
All right, thank you. Umpire XDX.
I had a lot of fun too. I covered Kilmaine, Fiorla for a couple turns in the beginning and the end, and Spottendorf on the Austrian side. There was a very interesting kind of game of hide and seek going on in the south here, where the French and the Austrian cavalry kept siding each other, but then they never actually engaged each other until finally the French charged northeastwards. At perfect timing with Fiora as well. They kind of evaporated Spottendorf's forces, sadly. However, Kilmaine did die in some of the fighting there, as he was trying to force some infantry to take into square formation. It was a very, very unlucky roll for him, but he certainly had a very large impact on the southern flank here. I'm not sure, what I would do differently on the French side, but for the Austrians at least, he spent a lot of time, moving his cavalry around, and I mean it was very important to get eyes on, but I probably would have been a bit more decisive once they did see the French to the southwest. But otherwise, I think he did a very good job with what he had.
All right, thank you. Let's hear from the players. Just work down the list. So starting with Shobanin.
Oh yeah, I was Anton Trebiz von Schobenin. I commanded the reserve, which at the start was just my 2 brigades of grenadiers and some lancers and hussars. I spent the first couple of hours just remaining in reserve behind Davidovich's line, and then I was ordered straight down the center. When I arrived, I was given command of some of Davidovich's brigades, like Matowski 1 and what was left of Spiegel. That exchange of command, I think, is the large part of the blame for why we didn't really push forward when we broke that hole. I didn't completely understand the position that we were in, and did not order Machowski forward when I could have. So that's a bit of my bad there. But otherwise, the fight in the center was pretty bloody. I organized a massive grenadier charge that was starting to bear fruit, but then I think it was Despinois grenadiers came from over that ridge line at Solferino, and that surprised me because I didn't think anything was going to brave the guns at Solferino to attack me from that angle. So it was very surprising. I had to work my division into like a frenzy just to kind of do like a fighting withdrawal, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think the umpires did really good this game. I felt like it went at like a really fast clip as far as updates and stuff. Special shout out to Veldenfeld and Davidovich for sending me reinforcements there at the very end. I think a large part of the reason why it's a stalemate is because they sent those reinforcements, and we have this concentration in the center that we literally didn't have an hour ago. so that we can be able to repulse attacks from the south and the west. So, yep, great job, everyone. That was a lot of fun.
All right, thank you. All right, Vermser.
Well, for most of the game, I was just west of Solferino up those heights examining what was going on, and I relied on dispatches mostly to assess the situation. And I continued to press Davidovich and Weldon Field to just advance, advance, advance. I did understand the situation was a bit perilous because the French were counterattacking with more and more men, but I knew that they would break them sooner or later because we have more men than the French in this sector at least. So I continued to tell them to advance. Chobidin, my dispatch came a bit late where I told you to keep one grenadier in reserve, but that's not an issue. You didn't expect Espinois to attack, so that's okay. Uh, the large part of this victory, as I would call it, is because of my commanders, because they're just really good at their job and they did decent, they did very good with their commands. Yeah, this game was fun. If I had to say anything in the next few turns, if the game lasted a bit longer, we would have broke the French decisively and just won the day. Then relief Mantua.
All right.
Here.
All right, Davidovich.
Really good fun game. Really enjoyed it. Looks like everyone did really well. And thanks to the umpires first. Excellent. From my perspective, first problem I would say, my division was too big. I couldn't really control the entire. I had like 8 brigades and cavalry. It was too big to control. I couldn't see the other end of my line. So I was really happy when Shobinin turned up with reserves to attack into the centre because he could take over the left side of my division. And it's unfortunate. I don't think it was his fault. He said he didn't attack with Mitrovic, but I think it was unfortunate that just that handover at that moment created a pause for us. But that was, I think, just the way it had to be. Because had I not gone north, I think we might not have overwhelmed the north when I started coordinating with Wiedenfeld. So first issue, I think, if you play this again, would definitely Davidovich's division would be kind of broken up a little bit more between the rest of the commands. I think that would have helped the Austrian side. But other than that, I think the attack that we did, we bumped into the French. The attack that we did in the centre, I think, went really, really well. I don't know whether the rolls went out in our favour in the early part of the game. And I think everybody sort of on our side certainly performed really well on attacks. We kept the pressure up when we could. There might have been slight pauses, but at times, but that was kind of needed. A bit of a shame at the end that we the cavalry in the north seemed to have been broken by the French. But other than that, I think we did a pretty good job, and we did better than historically. So well done, and well done to the CIC as well.
All right, Weidenfeld.
Yeah, I think overall, I think we did pretty good, especially on the right. Worked well with Davidovich. Shame about the left. I had like a weird sort of premonition I should send some of my guys south just in case a turn earlier than I actually did. I don't know if it would have really mattered given the distance, but oh well. What can you do? I think we did well overall. I think our plan was a solid one. I think personally, I did say at the meeting we should have done harder on the left because that's where I thought had the biggest chance of really smashing the enemy, and then we would allow us to turn and face. But we won enough on the right, I think, that it will not matter, and that there will be fighting into the second day. With the Austrians, that's something of a disadvantage positionally, but definitely not a done fight. So, yeah, thank you for running the game. And yes, good job to you, RCIC. I think you made a plan that was very clear and concise, and that's the best sort of plan, in my opinion.
All right, Ojiro.
Yeah, this is my first. I mean, I played the beginner game before, but this was my first like real Kriegspiel game. It's certainly my first live Kriegspiel game. So it was definitely eye-opening to see. Now that I have a little bit better of an understanding of the mechanics, I probably would do some things differently. Like I didn't realize that troops would kind of automatically rally. So yeah, I was going around trying to get all my guys back in line, and then that made it so that I couldn't see what was going on. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun experience, and the Austrians were hitting me really hard. It was a tough fight.
So you did a good job for your first game.
Thank you.
All right, Fiorella.
Well, that was a fun little bit of cat and mouse in the south with some Austrian cavalry that more or less mirrored my own. Things were just starting to get exciting there at the end, and then I took a cannonball straight to the face, and that happens sometimes. I do regret that I wasn't quite as communicative with Fiorello as I should have been. I didn't realize he was on the field to start with. I thought he would be a later reinforcement that we didn't know when he'd be arriving on the field. So part of that delay is down to me. But you live and you learn. Well, not in this case, but you learn anyway.
You don't live, but you can still learn.
Yeah.
All right, Fiorella.
Well, there was that hour delay at the beginning because I didn't want to advance and be in the wrong position without knowing where I was needed. Plus, I wasn't expecting to be on the field so early. So therefore, I was like, okay, they may not even be engaged, and I don't know where I'm going. So I waited, and then I finally moved off, and then I heard combat pick up. I was like, okay, I'm heading in the right direction. Then I suppose. I wanted to see if I could catch their reserves, but I didn't realize the line in battle was already so far forward. So I was completely disoriented until I finally reached where everything was. And then I had two divisions to command practically. So then it was like, okay, well, we're just going to stay here and duke it out.
All right, Messena.
Okay, so, well, my whole division was routed, so maybe a little bit. I don't want to say bitter, but it was actually fun. It was fun. It was. I had some problems at the beginning with some of the things that I was being reported, like by the empires. I don't like. I appreciate very much you guys running the game, but like my vision was wildly changing. Like one turn, I could see my whole line left and right, no problem. Without moving, all of a sudden the next turn, I cannot see my right flank, and the turn after that, my units there routed weirdly, that sort of thing. But like that happened only like the first hour. After that, it sort of stabilized, and then it became much more sort of execution. Like I was not guessing what was going on, but like so I sort of figured out the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually that Austrians could have routed me earlier. They kept their I don't know who was the name of the reserve battalion, but division. But I think they could have flanked me really easily. I had only 2 infantry battalions guarding against something like 4 or 6 of theirs, while my south was sort of engaged with the rest of the Austrians. We were sort of being quite even. In the main fight, but they could have sort of overwhelmed me much faster. Yeah, and once they all figured out that my units were really shaky, like they did a full charge, and at that point it was unstoppable. They actually even had reserves that were fresh. So yeah, like one of the mechanics I'm sort of would very much like to learn how to do, if it's possible at all, like some way of scouting, of getting a little bit more about what the enemy is doing, because, well, anyway, that's the only thing that could have made the difference. But without knowing more, it is what it is. And I enjoyed having 2 or 3 turns just shouting at the Austrians some expletives. So I hope they heard.
All right, thank you. General Bonaparte.
Yeah, thanks for another great battle, James. Austrian team, great plan. We definitely anticipated that you guys would have had more forces to screen our reinforcements coming in from the south. So it definitely caught us. Definitely caught me off guard that you threw basically everything you had against what we had on hand on the field in the north west. And I think the vigorousness of your attack, combined with the delay for us being able to bring those extra troops into the battle, really worked really well in your favor. Really good tactics on the part of the Austrian generals. My team was, working with some limited experience, but from where I stood, I think they did a fine job as well as they could. There was some good communication going on, a lot of sharing of information across the line, and doing our best we could to respond to make the most of a pretty challenging situation. So, but in the end, excellent work on the Austrian part, and good effort on the French part to hold things together. Um, I think we're in a decent position. I don't think it's a clear situation where the Austrians are going to just kind of plow past us in the next day or so. Definitely not as favorable as we'd hoped, but I think that from where I stand, I feel like we've at least managed to fight the Austrians to a standstill, and I'm comfortable with that, especially with their advanced notice of where our forces are coming from and what strength.
Yep. All right, Spottendorf.
Yeah, I had the southern flank of the Austrian army, and again, thanks to the umpires, even though this definitely was not my best showing as a commander, fun game nonetheless. But I very quickly realized, I think it was after, I think an hour in game time, I got a briefing that there was a light cavalry force to my southwest, so I was expecting a flank from that angle. However, I will say that until my hussars came riding back to me, I did not expect Fiorello from basically behind me, which made things very interesting very fast. Um, and it also didn't take me very long to think that I was going to be massively outnumbered, which I was. So it basically went from me trying to hold the flank to me delaying until we could either reallocate forces or they could force a breakthrough in the center. In the end, I think I managed to delay Fiorella about an hour, which I think gave opportunity for the center to either, both stabilize and for us to inflict a little bit more damage. And I managed to kill Maine. So all in all, for me being the smallest, I believe the smallest formation, I can't remember, but also me being
Smallest
outnumbered.
Austrian formation, at the least.
Yeah, but also me being outnumbered 3-1. I think my guys definitely punched above their weight, and did their job. But again, not my best showing, but glad I could contribute at least enough to hold that flank long enough for us to do some damage.
Yeah, well done. All right, that's everyone. Thank you for playing. It was an enjoyable game, nice and actually fairly well balanced and even. So it's a good battle to do. Appreciate all the Europeans for waking up early and all the Americans are well, I guess Americans for staying up late. So everyone have a good rest of your evening or morning and day, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for hosting.